Okay, so this is a bog standard diesel heater with the old fashioned burn chamber inside. Show you something. Um, I can do a comparison. So we're on 138C. Okay, so I'll pause it here and I'll go back to the other one. Okay, so this is just back-to-back evidence of two identical diesel heaters. This one's been converted to the new burn chamber with the afterburner I make. Now, the next video that will follow will show you a standard one. Okay, let me show you. Right, we have 176C on a normal diesel heater without the mods. It only runs around about 135. Okay, to temperature please, thank you. Come out. So that's just using, come on out. That's just using the ECU to actually pick up the temperature from its probe, the one that sits on the top. Yeah, so there is no sodding about with resistors. That literally is a one-for-one comparison. Okay, I hope that helps some of you guys. Bye for now. Okay, right, you just saw me do the two videos, yeah? Now let me do the visual comparison. So that's your standard heater. So you've got a constant supply of cold air going around the back before it goes through these little gaps, then pushes the ignited diesel past the stainless steel mesh that is wrapped around the base of it here. Yeah, so that's the old-fashioned basic principle. Now what I've done in all of them is put an extra glow plug at the bottom there, so anything that's been dribbling down overnight after you've turned the pump off, that turns to like honey at the bottom, I can actually wake the honey up by putting the glow plug on before I fire it up, and it worked. But it doesn't have the same, it still has the same problem as the mesh round here gets blocked. Yeah, so the bit at the bottom I'm cleaning, yeah, it will make it fire up, but that doesn't help clean this bit of mesh that you cannot see and you cannot get to. This new cheap design is completely different. Yeah, so you've got this big wide body here. That is because they've brought the heat further back, so your actual heat that's come out of here, going down here, and now to the back where the stainless steel mesh is. So in doing so, that's creating this bit that gets blocked up to get hotter. Yeah, and you can see by the results. Yeah, we're talking probably, I don't know, it's around about 50C increase just by them extending the back half of it. Yes, this is a copy of the Webasto. I mean, there's some people saying, oh, it was designed because it runs quieter. Well, it doesn't run any quieter whatsoever. It does not. What it does do is exposes this area at the back on setting 1 to 175C, so the mesh is always at that temperature, whereas this one, the mesh is not at that temperature because you've got a bloody great fan blowing on it. That's why this one blocks up. Now the new type, when I combine that with the little stainless steel superchargers I'm making now, it does work really well. It fires up straight away. It was a bit of a pain, I must admit, fitting a second on my project board, a second glow plug into the bottom, because you can see here where I'd normally tap a thread, it goes straight through to in there. When I sealed up the thread, I completely forgot about sealing up where the glow plug goes into the mesh. And without an exhaust on, I was wondering, what earth, why is it smoking? It's because I hadn't actually, this area in the back here is full up with diesel, and what it was doing with the glow plug at the bottom, it was dripping out the glow plug hole literally straight into the exhaust. So it was running fine, but what was dripping out was causing it to smoke and giving me a false impression of what was going on. So all I had to do was just whip it out, put some more JB Weld around it and sealed it up. Works fine. Okay, is it worth buying? Yes, without doubt. If we can get away from the problem of not being able to clean that bit out or even see if it's blocked, yeah, you got no chance of getting in there to find out if it's blocked. Yeah, you don't know, because okay, that mesh could be partially blocked down in there, your glow plug mesh, and you think, oh, is it that? And you replace that, and the bloody thing still won't start. Yeah, it's because that bit that it's had a pool of diesel in it forever, and it's just turned to honey. It really has just turned to honey, and you can't clean it. As you saw the previous two videos, I've now on my project board moved my heat sensor that was right where this weld is before, yeah, and by moving it back more or less level where it to more or less where the exhaust port is, there's a difference between there and there of 35C. So I know now that the heat at the back, what did I measure it at? Let me think. Might be easier to do a video than talk about it. When the diesel heat is running right at the back here now is about 140. So that's hot. That is hot. That's going to keep that mesh clear. I do really have faith in that. I really like the design. I mean, that was a good design. You can't say it's not a good design, because it is. Apart from, you can't. If you could take it apart and clean it, that would be wonderful. But you can't, and it gives you so many false clues as why it's not starting. But this, yeah, go for it. These have gone up in price a little bit, probably because I bought 4. Well, no, I haven't. I actually bought 6 of them. So because I bought 6, they probably gone, oh, they're selling well, we put the price up by £1. So these are up to £14.50 now instead of £13. Another thing while I'm here, right, don't, you know when you, let me just show you, just show you, okay. Right, just stay there for a second, please. Yep. Right. This is what a really worn out fan sounds like. Bet my speakers won't pick it up. Get in there. Oh, come on. Come on. Oh, you're going to be a sod, aren't you? Right, well, anyway, that bearing is worn out in there. Yeah. This here is a little PP6, whatever it is. Yeah. Run it on 6 volts. Take your ECU off. Take your ECU off. If you've got a smelly heater, this is, sorry, I've skipped that bit. If you've got a smelly heater, take your ECU off, get yourself a 6 volt battery and pour some of this. Squirt some of this through there. Yeah, that's what you use to clean out your aircon in your car. So you can get rid of all the germs, the smell of diesel and whatever, just by taking your ECU off, put a 6 volt battery on there and spray this literally through the hole in the middle, and it will go all the way past over the heat exchanger, all the way through your pipe that stinks of diesel and bugs and God knows what else. Right, that motor there, yeah, is £14, and it's a bit of a sod to get these off and get them back on in exactly the same place. So it's pretty pointless paying £14 for something that you can get come out completely ready, assembled, yeah, from Temu, which is £16.50, comes complete. Nice new fan. Yeah, it just looks identical to the one before. And what is, I mean, for the extra £2, are you really going to want to spend an hour and a half trying to pull that off without damaging it, and pull that off without damaging it? Then put in 4 feeler gauges around the base of it, so you know you've got your air gap when you're trying to hammer this thing back on. Yeah, so you put 4 feeler gauges on there and you're tapping it down. Then all of a sudden, if you don't put your 4 feeler gauges on, you've tapped it down so far it won't bloody turn. Which is a royal pain. So you end up having to 4 feeler gauges around there while you're tapping it on. It's a pain. For the extra £2, it's better just to buy a complete new one. I believe. Oh, come on, camera. Play the game. Right, let me have a looky. Right, there we are. Can you see there? That is a chunk missing off the actual fan. Now, I think that is what's knocked the motor out and caused the bearings. Because, I mean, okay, it's only like the size of my finger, but it would put this fan out of balance. What am I doing? Yeah, this fan completely out of balance and knock the bearings out. Okay, guys. Right, back to where we were. Okay. Time will only tell if this continues to keep itself clean. But with a stainless steel afterburner in there, you have got some serious heat. And you can bloody burn your hand on one. Yeah, so make sure things are away from it, or you're putting extra air ducting on, so by the time it actually literally comes out, it's not gonna burn your hand. Yeah, we're talking proper heat now at last. Okay, right, back on the R&D board, and so this one has a supercharger afterburner. It's made of stainless steel, and it has the new 2025 burn chamber in it. Okay, so I've also moved the thermocouple, right to the back. The thermocouple there is showing 172 on 1, yeah, with an actual temperature of 201. So that's why I put the plus 30 on there. So it's 200 degrees right at the back. I don't know if you can see this, guys. Let's see if I take that shitty bit of film off, if you can see it. Come on, off you come. Off. Can you see now? No, you can't see sod all. Okay. You can't see anything, can you? Right. Okay. Let's have a look what the ECU thinks it is. The ECU thinks it's 120C. Yeah, that's because I put a 1K resistor in there. Yeah, so 120C is a completely different to 170. Yeah, so the 1K is working. Take it back to not voltage, temperature. I'll be interested to know, guys, if you can share your readings. Do you want me to show you how to do it? I don't know if you saw me do it then. I'll do it again for you. Okay. Right, the little one with the gearbox. Press it once. Yeah? Just press it once, hold it. Right, goes on to temperature readings for if you're running on a thermostat. Now, press the OK button once, and that will give you its temperature inside the burn chamber. It's picked up from the overheat sensor. Press it again, it'll just give you your voltage. You need to go back to the where you see the little thermometer there before you can come back out of it. Hold it, there it is, back to H1. If you don't understand it, just send me a message and I'll redo it again for you. But it's pretty simple. Yeah, you're not going to cop anything up. This with the burn chamber, the new burn chamber, and the afterburner in it, it's running so clean. Yeah, I mean the O2 readings. I mean these gauges don't go any higher than 20. I mean if that was a car, it was a V8, you'd have 8 holes in your piston if you were running a car that lean. Yeah, even with my little meter here, I can't pick up anything on the exhaust. It's just showing nothing. I mean, if I shove it down the end and literally block the exhaust up, I can get a reading of around about 10. But I mean, I'm just going to end up melting the top of that, and it's just not worth it. That is clean, clean, clean. Okay, what we got up here? 190. So that tallies with that. Up from the ECU, I think it's 120 degrees. So when I do run it on dual fuel, it won't shut down on me, which is exactly what I want. Right, guys, summer is on its way, so remember to do a bit of spring cleaning. Let me show you some horrors. Let me see if I can go the right way. No. Okay. This is what's in your tanks. See this? Looks like a slug at the bottom. Well, there's not a slug. That is water because with diesel now they add cetane. Yeah. to boost it. And cetane is basically ethanol, which is alcohol. Yeah, and the idea is it makes it light easier, but it can also separate like that, and all that snot and goo goes into your pump, and that's where you get your blockages and also your pump seizing up because it's running on water. It's not designed to run on water. Okay, so spring cleaning. Yeah, you can. There's what? There's a lot to do before next winter. I mean, for one, it's going to be sitting all summer. Yeah, so if you are taking your burn chamber apart, don't wash your outside of your heat exchanger with petrol because petrol will always stink. Yeah, I mean, you could have an immaculate carburetor. Yeah, if it was sitting on the pillow beside you in bed, you would know it was a carburetor sitting there or laying there. Yeah, it always stinks. So if you clean the outside of your heat exchanger with petrol, it will stink. Yeah, so I mean, I have a dishwasher here that I use as a parts washer, and that is much better. Get all the crud out of it, yeah, as much as you can with a screwdriver and what have you, then put it on the pot cycle. Put a dishwasher tablet in there and really blast it. Your wife won't be too happy, but they never are they? But it will get the burn chamber smelling nice. Also, I use Febreze as well. Hold on, let me go back up in the workshop. So, you know when you've had your greasy hands and your prints all over it? Get yourself some of this. Yeah? Just spray that. Literally just spray that on the chamber itself. Because the outside of the chamber is what you're breathing inside your house. Spray that on. Don't wipe it off. Leave it on there. When you start the heater up, it smells nice. It doesn't smell like greasy hand diesel mixed with petrol. So get yourself some of that. And also, oh, this is what I was trying to show you earlier. Look, simple 6-volt battery. Okay, 6-volt battery. Take your ECU off. Get your fan running like that. Oh, that bearing is proper hammered. Yeah, and you could leave that running for these cans. I don't know, seven quid or something. Literally spray it with the heater running, with the ECU off. Take it off completely. Just, you don't need to unplug the big plug. All you need to do is just take the sensors off and what have you, and just run a little battery through it. Blast it. Keep blast. I mean, these are designed to be blasted in the car. Click down, and then you close all the windows and what have you, and it gets rid of the horrible smell from your aircon. Yeah, from mould and God knows what else. This will help clean up the smell of your diesel heater. Okay, guys, I'm going to put all these bits together. I hope it helps somebody. Don't forget, do spring cleaning now because you'll really regret it come November.